Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are finally going to sit and talk about my intentions, goals, and to-dos and not to-dos for 2014. I know I'm a little late getting this out, but life got in the way a little bit. So, doesn't matter. I'm doing it now. We're still only halfway through the month. So, let's get talking about my plans for 2024. So every year at the end of the year, I sit down with my planner and I just kind of write out my intentions for the year in several different categories. I try to break them down, not too specifically, but I just don't want to lose 5 pounds. I want to put how I'm going to achieve that, the goals, the intentions I need to set to do that. I don't want to put, under spirituality, pray more. I want to put how I'm going to do that. So not only are these intentions, these are also a plan on how to achieve said goals. Now, I did do this a little bit before we knew exactly what was going to be going on with Doug. So some of them are going to have to be altered a little bit, and that's okay because that's what we do. So without further ado, let's talk about my intentions for the year, my do's, my don'ts, all that fun stuff. And we are going to start with, of course, the most important thing in anyone's life, and that is health. So for my health, I'm still battling that like 5 to 8 pounds that I just can't seem to lose. Now, it is very possible that my body is happy where it is at, and that's okay. I am okay with that. I have come to peace with that. Sorry, the cat. I have come to peace with that, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying. I'm not going to say, well, this is it. It's menopause or it's this or it's that. I'm still going to continue to try, but I'm not going to get discouraged. I'm also not going to say, well, it's menopause, so I don't care. I'm going to eat the nachos and chips, or I'm going to eat this, or I'm going to eat that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue to try. I'm just not going to get crazy about it. This cat is going to drive me crazy, though. We'll see if that works. Sorry about that. So to that end, I am going to continue my weekly weigh-ins because even though it is only a number on the scale, it's a good gauge. It's definitely one of the tools that we use, and we can't let that number define us, but we also can't be like, oh, it's just a number. Yes, it is just a number, but it's kind of an important number because that number can keep growing and growing and growing and knock all the other numbers out of alignment. So I am going to continue my weekly weigh-in. I'm also going to use other tools. I'm going to use how my clothes fit, how I'm feeling, how I'm sleeping, my mood, things like that, because I'm going to tell you, when I put on a couple pounds, my clothes get tight, my mood gets meh, I don't sleep well, I don't feel well. So I'm going to use all those, the weekly weigh-in included, and all those as a gauge to how I am doing with my weight, my health. Another thing I want to do is cut the sugar. Cut all of it? No, but cut a good amount of it. We got on a sugar train over the holidays, I'm not going to lie. And it's been tough to cut it. It's really been tough. Right after the holidays, we have Doug's birthday and Adam was home and I kind of, So we definitely need to cut the sugar, and perfect timing to cut the sugar with everything Doug's going through. Am I going to cut it 100%? No, probably not. But we are going to cut the sugar a lot. I'm going to continue the mindful, intuitive eating. Now, Am I doing by the book intuitive eating? I am not. I did not read any books. I did not watch any videos. I did not sign up for any courses. I am doing the Joni method of intuitive eating. When I am hungry, I eat. When I am full, I stop. I do not need to eat just because I am at a celebration. I do not need to have eating be the focus of a party or a vacation or something like that. I'm eating to fuel my body, not fuel my emotions. So many times, it's a party. I'm going to enjoy myself. Why do we have to equate enjoying ourselves at a party with how much or what we eat? Why? Why can't we say, I'm going to the party and I'm going to enjoy myself by talking with Mary Sue, who I haven't talked to in 10 years, or, hanging out with this person that I only get to see twice a year? Why can't we equate being happy and enjoying life with those things? Why do we have to equate it with food? Why? Because that's how we are conditioned and programmed, especially living in the United States. We've gone away from fueling our body with food to fueling our emotions with food. And for me, that needs to end. And I do a pretty good job with it. But like I said, I had a little rough time over the holidays. I did lose. I came out ahead on the weight loss over the holidays, but it was a struggle. And believe it or not, the last 2 weeks into the new year have been more of a struggle than the holidays were for me. So I think everything was just kind of coming to fruition, and Adam being here and wanting brownies and wanting this. And so he's back at school. We've got a clear path for Doug. So I think I've been able to rein that in pretty well. So I definitely want to continue with that. And in that, I am going to continue my non-tracking. I've been doing very well not tracking. And I think part of it is because I'm scared. Not writing it down, I'm scared to overeat. So I've been very, very mindful of how much and what I have been eating. I know it's not a popular opinion not to track. And I know I get on here and tell you guys to track. But I've been doing this for a very long time. And I kind of know now. Now, am I saying I don't ever spot check myself? I definitely spot check myself. I spot check myself constantly with portion sizes, and I spot check myself with caloric intake once in a while. I just want to make sure I'm where I need to be and that I am doing what I know I need to do. So while I am going to spot check myself, I am still not going to be tracking constantly. The next thing in my health is my largest list, is more fruits and vegetables. I have a veg here and a veg there during the day. I definitely get vegetables in every day. Do I get enough in? Probably not. So I am going to work on that. Does that mean I have to chew on raw carrots or cucumbers? No, it does not. I can do that, but I don't have to. I can incorporate them in other ways. And that is my plan, to do more salads, to maybe instead of doing one vegetable at dinner, maybe I'll do 2 vegetables at dinner. Excuse me. Fruit's a tough one for me because of my weird fruit allergies, especially this time of year. Summer, I can bang fruits out like nobody's business because I have my good melons and things like that. This time of year is a little bit harder because a lot of things this time of year are apples and pears and things that we picked in the fall and preserved. Like if you get good storage apples in the fall, they will last for months in your fridge. And that's fine for the guys, but I can't pick up a pear or an apple. So I just have to be, or a banana. So I just have to be really careful and really intentional with my fruit. The last couple pineapples I've had haven't been that great. The grapes have been a little bit mushy lately, and I have to have my grapes like rock hard like a nut. So I'm working on it. I'm working on the fruits and vegetables, and I'm doing okay with that. Another thing is my electrolyte water. That went a little bit by the wayside over the holidays. I'm back to that. I make sure I drink it. I actually reprinted out my little stickers that I make for my planner, and I put the electrolyte water as part of my morning routine. I want to see that check mark next to electrolyte water. If you don't know, every morning I just make a homemade electrolyte water. Our body loses so many nutrients and minerals while we sleep and sweat and things like that. And plain water is not going to hydrate you. You need to replace those minerals that you have lost. Now, always check with your doctor. This is not coming from me. This is coming from my old nutritionist and Doug's cancer dietitian. She is 100% on board with what I just said about how water does not hydrate us. You need to replace the minerals. A lot of people use like a pack, like a liquid IV, which I don't like to use because there's a lot of added sugar to that. We will use like a Redmond's Relight or some other really good like organic clean ingredient ones. But honestly, I just make my own in the morning. I get water, I throw some ice in because I like it cold. I throw several shakes of Redmond's real salt, and that's the key, to use a real salt, not to use like a Morton's table salt, because that is not, there's nothing in that that's good for you. You need the real salt that's been mined and that the minerals are still in. And then I'll throw either a squeeze of lemon in there, or sometimes I'll just throw a green tea bag, like a flavored green tea bag in there. And I drink that. I just drink 24 ounces of it in the morning. Now later on in the day, if I start feeling like a little bit dehydrated, or like if we have a really good workout or whatever, I will drink another half of one. But generally I just do one a day in the morning to replace all those minerals that I've lost through the night. And even if you don't think you're sweating them out, you are. But always check with your dietitian, your nutritionist, your doctor, whoever it is that you see, and make sure that they're okay with it. Because I am not any of those. I'm just a girl that likes to research and talk to my nutritionist, Doug's dietitian, and things like that. So that's where it's coming from. The next thing and the last thing I want to do for my health is get back into running. You know, we do the HIIT training all the time, but I've kind of let the running go by the wayside, and I miss it. It's hard getting back into it, especially this time of year, because I do like to run outside, but I'm definitely going to push myself to get back into that. So they were my intentions for my health goals. I know this is going to be too long. I know it is. That was the longest category. So what I do want to do and what I don't want to do. I do want to do all those. What I don't want to do is fall into old habits. I don't want to fall into convenience. And I found myself a little bit falling into some convenience things over the holidays, and then with Doug's, all the appointments he had. And that's okay once in a while. It is okay, but not all the time for me. It may be okay for you all the time, and that's fine. It's everybody's journey. But for me, it's not okay all the time. I was kind of like, you know, I just picked up burger rolls at the store instead of making them and things like that. And we don't enjoy them. We know what's in them, and we really don't enjoy them because we know what's in them. Example, the other day, you know, if you buy a loaf of bread, it's going to last you a long time. Well, I had made a loaf of bread the other day, and it just did not get eaten as fast as I thought it would, and I didn't put it in the freezer. 3 days, it molded. I've had loaves of bread from the grocery store that have lasted 3 weeks with no mold on them. And that was a great visual for me, because I'm like, you know what? My 3 ingredients or 4 ingredients that's in my bread, look what happened. The stuff that you buy commercially has so many preservatives and stuff in it that it ain't ever going bad. So that was a good visual reminder for me. Now, I am not knocking you if you buy your bread. That's fine. We're all on a different journey. It's just ingredients that I choose not to use. That is why we make our bread. But you have to do you. And there is zero judgment from me. Zero. As long as you are happy and healthy, that's all good. So, I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh, do's and don'ts on my health. So, definitely the do's, and, continue to read labels. Continue to read labels and research products. I just don't understand why they have to put certain things in certain food. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's just never questioned. I mean, one of the biggest breast cancer advocate groups, one of their sponsors is a company that has known carcinogens in their food. And I don't get it. I don't get it. But that's a video for a whole nother time. I'm just going to, with that, and just say, I'm going to continue reading my labels and continue researching ingredients and make smart choices for me and for my family. So the next category is household homemaking. Continue to do an honest declutter. And I say an honest declutter because it's so easy to say, oh, I can't get rid of that. It has sentimental value. Oh, I can't get rid of that. I might need it someday. No, we're going to be brutally honest. And I will tell you, my friends, I started a little bit last week and then hit it really hard this weekend. Really hard. Really hard. I gave away 223 items on, you've heard me talk about our Facebook page, Gibbstown Giving. Gave away 223 items just this weekend alone on Gibbstown Giving. And I gave away 25 last week. I took 6 boxes to the thrift store yesterday and took out 5 bags of garbage. Yep, that's a lot. And that was only one half of the basement. I can't wait to get down to that basement again, either today or tomorrow or the next day, and start on the other side. It is such a good feeling. Doug came home from work last night and was just, his jaw hit the floor. So that is what we are going to continue, because let me tell you, I have so much peace. So much peace. I can walk down the basement and not feel like this. Now, we also need to hit the attic, but that ain't happening until spring because it's too cold up there. Another, under my household homemaking, a place for everything. Not to just shove something in a drawer. To think about what I need to put away and where I'm going to put it and be intentional about that. And get back to, because this kind of fell by the wayside when Adam was home. I feel like I'm blaming Adam for everything. And I'm not. I just changed my life when he was here because I wanted to enjoy the month that he was off when it came to not stressing over the house and over things like that. So I want to get back into doing my Fly Lady zones like on a weekly basis really well. If you remember, I make the stickers. I'm looking for, and I put them in my planner. Every week it's a different zone and it's stuff I want to do in those zones. Some of the lists are very, very long, but most of the jobs on there take less than 5 minutes. So if I set 15 minutes aside, I can bang out 2 or 3 of those jobs in 15 minutes and be done with it for a 5-week cycle. Because they're like big jobs. And by big, I mean something you don't have to do on a daily basis or even sometimes a weekly basis. So I definitely want to get back to that. Now, things in the homemaking household realm, do's and not do's. Well, all the do's on my list, and not do's, stop bringing crap into the house that I don't need, meaning impulse purchases. Oh my gosh, I'm at Hobby Lobby and this is 90% off. How cute is this? I'm going to get it. Why? Where are you going to put it, Joni? If you bring that in, you got to get rid of something else. And right now you are loving your house and you love everything in it. So you're not going to get rid of anything else. You're just going to bring more crap in. So I'm going to be truly, truly hard-nosed with that. And I thought of something else too. I forget what it was now that I wanted to bring into that. Maybe I'll remember. I don't know. But I definitely, you know, and when people want to give me stuff, I'm going to say no. Because I just don't need more stuff. Nope, I don't. Because you know what? Next year I'll be decluttering it out of the basement. So I definitely want to be intentional about what is brought into this house. Whether it be our food products or whether it be our tangible goods. I want to be mindful. So for personal intentions, less screen time. Every year I say it, every year I fail. I do, I fail. I have been a little bit better this year. I need to really, really be cognizant of the screen time, especially with Doug going through his treatments, because every other Wednesday we will be sitting there for 4 hours. He will more than likely be working because they have little workstations. He'll take his laptop and he'll log in and he'll work. I won't be. So I will be sitting there, and how easy is it going to be to pick up my phone and play Royal Match or play June's Journey or scroll Facebook or scroll Instagram. So I am going to be very, very cognizant in not doing that. I am going to pack a bag with magazines, with my book, with my menu planning book. Maybe my laptop. Yes, I know that's screen time, but maybe instead of working on my website on Thursday nights, maybe Wednesday while I'm sitting there with Doug, I will work on my website and get that done. I don't know. We'll have to just see how it all works out. But I want to use that time intentionally. I don't want that to be a scroll mindlessly on my phone time. And let me tell you, I know darn well it can be. Yep. So I definitely want to use that time intentionally. That brings me to less screen time, more book time. I have 3 books here that I need to read and I want to read. And it's so much easier to pick up my phone and play a game than pick up the book. So I have been working on that and it's going pretty well. Less Facebook and Instagram. I get sucked in. And I get sucked into reels all of a sudden. So we need to cut that. Now, with that, my next category is social media. And it's going to sound like I'm talking out both sides of my mouth, but I'll explain. So with the personal, like I said, do's and don'ts. Do have less screen time. Don't download any more games to my phone. I don't care how fun they look. That's some do's and don'ts. As far as YouTube and social media, even though I just said I want less screen time and less Facebook and Instagram, I want less of that for personal reasons, and I want a little bit more of it for my social media business. I've been very, very bad about my Facebook group, very bad. Just a lot of overwhelm. So I need to get better about that. And I need to get better about posting on Instagram. Even if it's just once every 2 or 3 days, I need to get better. I also want to come up with a solid YouTube schedule. I have one now, but I feel like I'm getting a little, I don't know, complacent with it. So I want to start getting back into spend the days with me and what I eat in a day and things like that. I always hesitate filming the what I eat in a day because most of the time I don't eat lunch. And I'm like, nobody wants to just see 2 meals, but maybe you do. So I want to get better about that. And I just want to give you some really good, solid content. What I don't want to do on social media, I don't want to be influenced. I know. Here I am, a social media influencer, and I'm saying I don't want to be influenced. Let me define that a little. I don't want to be influenced by the things that are not important to me, that do not go with my intentions, that do not go with my goals. Back in the beginning, I was very easily influenced. You know, I fell into the, oh, I have to buy this food online. Oh, I have to get this at Target. Oh, I have to do this. Yeah, no, I don't. I have to do my journey my way. And it's so easy to fall into that, oh, you know, she lost 75 pounds and she was eating those chips and I have to go buy them. And I don't care if they're, you know, $3 a bag for one serving. I'm going to buy them because that's how I'm going to lose weight. And I did, when in the beginning, I was a little bit like that. I got out of it really, really quickly. Really quickly. But, you know, sometimes it's easy to like kind of fall back into it again, like seeing, oh, that's like really cool. Seeing something on Instagram or on Facebook or, you know, on a video and think, oh, that's really cool. I should get that. Okay, can I tell you something? Half the crap I decluttered from my basement was stuff that I had to get. Yes, Dash appliances. I'm talking about you. Yes, Dash Mini Waffle. I'm talking about you. I know you're going to come at me for that. I know you are, and that's okay. If you love it, then love it and use it. I bought it because I had to have it because everybody had them. Everybody was making, you know, the little waffles and the hash waffles and all that. And everybody, you know, I had to have one. And I used it in the beginning. And then I didn't. Because you know what? That one little waffle was a pain in the butt. Because I would eat 2 waffles for breakfast. And I had to wait for the other one. Now I just use my big waffle maker and make a waffle. And it's one appliance. And I can make it and I can cut it in half. Yep. And it's one less thing in my house. I know you guys love them and that's okay. It's okay to love it. If you use it, embrace it and keep it. My thing was I wasn't using it. That was my problem. I wasn't using it. Why keep it if you're not using it? And that's why I got rid of it. And that's it. You love it, you use it, that's okay. I have stuff that I love and use that you're probably like, oh, I can't believe she uses that every day. Like, you know, my cast iron. A lot of people only cook certain foods in cast iron. I cook everything in it. You know, other things I use every day, you probably don't use every day. And that's okay. We're all different. We're all different. But I'm going to stop being influenced by people on social media because it's their job to influence you. And if you're buying it all, you're doing it right. So, yeah. Anyway. But I will say, I love my Dash mini egg cooker. Having fresh eggs, you know, sometimes they can be hard to peel. Cooking them in the Dash, making a hard-boiled egg, not hard at all because it steams them. Because you put a hole in it and then you're steaming it and it releases the shell. So that is something I love and use constantly. So I was not banging Dash, just the mini waffle maker that I don't use. Next category is homesteading goals. These were written before we got Doug's plan and before we talked to the nurse educator. So some of these goals are going to change. I'm still going to give you all of them and tell you why and how they're going to change. Number 1 was spring meat birds. Not happening. One of the things that Doug is not allowed to be around while he is going through chemo is animal feces. So I am in charge of poopy scooping the backyard. I am in charge of the litter box and I am in charge of the chicken coop. And if we had meat birds, that would be a lot on me, taking care of our egg layers and the meat birds. The meat birds are a lot of work, but it is short-lived. It is only 8 weeks. And between me and Doug and Andrew, we can generally bang it out pretty easily. But I am not willing to take that on alone. And Doug does not want me to take that on alone. So we are going to table our meat birds in the spring and possibly, depending on Doug's treatment, revisit it in the fall. We may do a small batch in the fall. You know, like get them in August and raise them and process them in October. We will see. It is not off the table. It is just shelved for now. The next thing on the thing was new chicks for this year. Not doing that either. Do not want a brooder in my house with baby chicks in it where they are kicking up dust and feces and things like that. Now, if you raise chickens, you know you do need to redo your flock each year because your older girls stop laying and things like that. We do want to get some new chicks, but we don't want to get them as babies. I want to get them as maybe 17, 18 week olds, even 15 week olds, as long as they can be outside and not have to be in here. So I am actively looking for a farm or a hatchery that sells birds of that age. So we're definitely going to get new chicks as long as I can find some that are of the age where they can be outside and don't have to be in the house. So that's still on the table. The next one is rethink some of our garden. We're not planting potatoes this year. Too much work for too little yield in our world. And I can, we have farmers markets. I can get good organic potatoes at a farmer's market that are not that expensive. So we will use the space in the garden for something else. I'd like to grow more zucchini. So we'll use that space for that. Sorry, the lighting's so bad. We also want to grow more green beans this year. And I don't know what else. Maybe something different. I don't know. But we're definitely, we want to do some more onions because we really did like having the onions. And they did pretty well. So, and we did a very small crop. So we definitely want to do more onions. But definitely getting rid of the potatoes. It kills me because they are delicious, but it's just too much work. Too much work. So that will be the garden plans. We have no plans to expand the garden. Now, we have to make sure that Doug is allowed to work in the garden. They did mention something at our chemo education class. And she's like, oh, well, it's not garden season. We'll talk about that later. I'm guessing it's because if you use manure or compost, which we don't use manure, but we do use compost, but I don't think we have any ready to use this year. So, maybe if he wears gloves and all, if they were to take Doug's garden away from him, it would devastate him and it would not be conducive to his mental state. I'm just trying to get a little bit better light here. And what did I do but collapse the tripod? I'm a hot mess, guys. I don't even know. Maybe that should be an intention, to not be such a hot mess on my YouTube videos. Hey, there you go. But anyway, so definitely just rethinking a few things in the garden. Keeping some things the same that we did different. Like I put my herbs right into the garden this year and not in my little pots. Yeah, they look cute and all next to the step in the pots, but I'd be great watering them for the first month, and then that went downhill. But having them in the garden, it's a few more steps for me and having to unlock the gate and stuff, but they thrived. So we'll definitely redo that again this year. And then last on the list is more food preservation. I want to start dehydrating a little bit more. My dream is to have a freeze dryer, but it is 100% not in the budget for this year. Not with all the medical bills. And, I did start saving for one, but the money ended up going towards medical bills and stuff. But maybe someday I will have a freeze dryer. Every month I enter the Harvest Right freeze dryer giveaway, and I hope to see my name on it someday, but it's not going to happen. But that is definitely a goal, is to have a freeze dryer someday, but not anytime soon. So I want to start utilizing my dehydrator a little bit more, and of course, still continue to can, because I do love having all that. I did not do as many fruits as I wanted to last summer. So I really want to up my game this summer. It's definitely, and it's a me thing. It was just bad time management on my part. So that's what I want to do. As far as do's and don'ts, just keep listening to the podcasts that I really enjoy listening to when it comes to homesteading stuff, and the YouTubers, and, you know, just going with my gut on a lot of things. And yeah, not a whole lot of do's and don'ts there. So lastly is spirituality. That's always one of my things, because, you know, you can always grow in your spirituality. It's definitely ramped up with Doug being in the diaconate. I've learned a lot along with him. I've looked at things a little differently, so that's always good to grow. As far as my intentions, to continue my daily devotional, I'm hit and miss. Actually, well, in the morning, I'm hit and miss. Night, I am doing really well on. And you know what? Maybe that's when... Hello, Zelda. You know, maybe that's when I need to schedule that. Maybe I am not a morning person when it comes to that. But I am, you know, I also have on here daily rosary. That I have been great on in the morning. So I need to give myself a little bit of grace with that. If I'm getting my rosary in the morning, you know, the devotional at night is fine. And what I am using for my devotional at night is... Doug bought me a book years ago. It's like 365 Saints. If I can find it, I'll link it. It's not just like a Lives of the Saints book. There's a different saint for every day, but it translates into your own life. Like, this saint did this, and this is how it affects your life, and this is what you could do to be like this saint. It's a really good book, and I really, really enjoy it. This will be the third time I've gone through it, because there's just one for every day, and it's a little devotionally, but it's a little not too. So it's very hard to explain, but if I can find the book, I'll link it below if it's something you're interested in. I'll link it in my Amazon store. It might already be there. I don't know, but it's definitely a good book, and I really do enjoy it. So I've been doing that every night without fail. So. But that is it. That is my intent. This got a lot longer than I intended it to be, and I apologize, but that is my intentions for the year. I keep this right in the front of my planner, and then I can refer back to it. I can look at it. I can remind myself. And, you know, also in my planner, at the beginning of each month, there's a little page where you can fill stuff in. Let me see if I can find one. There's like a big section here, then like little bullet points here, and then some lines here. You can't see them. And, you know, I just wrote for January pantry challenge. I'm really enjoying my pantry challenge, and basement declutter. And, you know, I told you I'm going crazy with that. And I just got a phone call. I am not working today. The kids I watch on Tuesday, she teaches with Andrew. School is open on a 2-hour delay today, but she lives further away, and the roads down in her county, it's a very rural county, are not good. So she turned around and went home. The principal also lives down there, and he totally agreed with her. Andrew made it to school fine, as far as I know. I just got a little alert. I'm just waiting for him to text me. But so I have an unscheduled day off, and I am going back down the basement. So that basement declutter, oh yes, my friends, it is happening. It is happening, and it is happening well. And then I just have little notes for myself here, and one of them says, summer bodies are made in the winter. And it says, you are stronger than the food you seek. So just little reminders for myself. I can't think of anything else. I'm sure I will when I turn off the video. I'll think, oh yeah, that's right. I wanted to mention that. I wanted to mention that. But, you know, if you're the type that sets intentions or goals or do's or don'ts or whatever, make them realistic. And Oh, I know one that I thought of. It was in the social media. I don't think I said it. I've decluttered my subscription list on YouTube. I've stopped watching channels that just make me crazy. I've stopped watching channels that I get nothing out of. Just because I've been watching them for 5 years doesn't mean I still need to continue. Now, I stayed subscribed to them because I know how important numbers are. I just turned off the little notification bell. I know what I want to do and how I want my journey to go. And I don't need to watch channels that don't jive with my journey. So I've decluttered my social media a little bit. I got rid of a whole lot of Instagram accounts. Like, I don't even know why I was following some of these Instagram accounts, to be honest with you. So I'm decluttering that part of my life too. And, you know, what's that saying? They say, you know, you are what you eat, but you are not only what you eat, but who you hang around with, what you read, what you listen to, and what you watch. So I'm taking that to heart, and I'm going to really be intentional about what I watch and what I read and what I listen to. So that is it. I know, I'm sorry, this got too long, but making up for my not having a weekend vlog, which I don't know if you guys saw the post in the group that I just chose not to do a weekend vlog this weekend. We were very intentional as a family on Saturday. That was Adam's last day home. We just hung out. We had fun. We went to Mass together. We had poker night Saturday night, and it was just a lot of fun, and then Sunday, we got up and had a very leisurely breakfast before we said goodbye to Adam. And then I spent the day decluttering. So nothing really I just didn't want to pick up the camera. I just wanted to kind of be in the moment. So that's the plan. So anyway, that is it. I'm going to stop now. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share if this may help someone you know. And that's all I have for you. I will see you all in my next video.